We are live. Here we go. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the broadcast here. This is kind of a last-minute thing, I guess you'd say.
I think it's an impressive set.
It's a nice set. So we've got everything set up for an event that Len's hosting here at our office tomorrow. So Len Elder from the Superior School of Real Estate, the senior instructor. I'm sure many of you know that face. And Len is always one of the most knowledgeable folks that I run into in my travels with teaching. And today we were having lunch together, and we were discussing things over Coca-Cola and sweet tea. Just for the record, we have not had anything to drink. Now we are both into the Mountain Dew. For those of you that watch my live broadcast regularly, you know I always have a Mountain Dew in my hand. But we are here today, we got into a discussion at lunch talking about some of the newest scams that we're seeing run. And of course, that's part of the North Carolina General Update course right now. So we thought we would bring to you some of, I guess we would call them the latest and greatest scams.
Things we hear on the street out there with brokers in class every day right now as we're working our way through CE season.
Right, exactly.
And as we begin talking, they go, oh, wait until you hear what happened in my office or to this agent. So we've got a lot of real world stories.
So what we're going to focus on today, though, is the closing process. And this is, if you're not a licensee, you still need to pay attention to this. If you are buying a home or selling a home, or you're in the process of investing in real estate, number one, make sure you call me in order to list your home for sale. But this is going to be for you too. This is not necessarily just for licensees. So this is for anybody that's going through a real estate transaction, because you need to be aware of what these scams are, because we've got situations where it's cost people up to $850,000 in expenses and in losses here in the Triangle area. So, Len, why don't you start out? The first story I want to hear is about the closing disclosure.
Well, here's one of my favorite ones, and you may be getting some of the emails I get then that says your closing disclosure is attached. There's an even more problematic scam going on out there. So, if we could role play for a moment.
Absolutely.
Hello, Brian.
Yes.
My name's Len. I'm with Pate's real estate office, and I want to make sure you just got your closing disclosure that we sent you. Do you have a copy of that?
As a matter of fact, I just got it through email.
Now, so we can verify that I'm actually me and you're actually you. And could you turn to the page in the closing disclosure where it says the money you need as a buyer for closing?
All right, hold on a minute. Let me pull it up on my screen here.
Because I'm looking at it right here, what we just sent you, Brian.
So am I looking at page 1 or page 2?
Yeah, that's on page 1.
Page 1, okay, all right.
And do you see there where it says at the bottom you need $24,523.62? That's what yours is showing?
That is the exact same number that I have, yes.
Well, the folks at Pate Realty want me to give you a call because we've talked to the closing attorney, and when you go in and sign, they want to be able to give you immediate possession and keys.
Okay.
So you should never send your bank account information over the phone or through an email.
Right. The attorney told us that.
Correct. So we've got their account rather than you giving them your account. That's much safer.
Oh, gotcha.
So you have a pencil and paper handy?
I do. Go ahead.
Let me give you an accounting and routing number.
Okay.
And then if you will go to your bank, that way there'll be a transaction record for all this. Just take that into your bank and have them wire those funds there, and that way you can get the keys when you close.
Okay, so all I need to do then is use this routing number and this account number, send it in, and that's the attorney's account?
That's perfect. Yeah, that'll end up right where the attorney needs it.
Okay, I'll head over to the bank right now. We'll go ahead and get that done so we're ready.
Perfect, Brian. Thanks for helping out.
Thanks. So did you see what just happened? He called, Len is playing the part of the scammer here, and he's calling me as the potential buyer. Shocking that
I know you made me the scammer. How would I have known that? What in the heck email would I have hacked? Folks, it's not that hard. Gmail, Yahoo accounts are getting hacked out there left and right. And if you're out there, how many of you have sent a closing disclosure to a buyer, had the buyer send you a copy of it? That's all I needed.
Right.
I've got the name of your buyer. I got the property address. I know the transaction's getting ready to close. I can call the buyer and I can quote him and tell him where to send the exact amount of money that's on that closing disclosure.
Right.
And just like that, clients and people are losing money.
So for those of you that are licensees out there that are active in the business, if you're using a Gmail account to do your business transactions, this is putting you at significant risk these days, and it can really be dangerous for both you and your clients. Because again, we've seen, in this particular case, I think we talked about $40,000 being what this particular client lost. So that entire down payment's gone. We don't know where it is. So we want to make sure that you guys are protecting your clients and yourselves at the same time, because here's the other catch. If your email is hacked, potentially errors and omissions insurance may not cover it because it could be your fault. And we'll talk about another
either way, you got issues. And it's not that specific domain names of a company can't be hacked. I don't know what can't be hacked out there.
Right.
It's just that the targets of the hackers tend to be the things that we use all of the time, that are very common, that you find anywhere. And Gmail and Yahoo are much bigger targets than using a specific domain.
Well, and it's kind of the same reason hackers go after viruses on a Windows machine, because there are far more of them out there, and the systems are all the same, so they can use one particular method and hack everything. So Let's move to the next example, and let's talk about a little bit about the wire fraud.
We've lost millions of dollars already in North Carolina in wire fraud. There's several articles in the North Carolina State Bar Association's website. It is a huge problem. It happens all too easily. There's a couple of different ways it's already happened in North Carolina. Here is one, for example. First part of this is legitimate. I am the closing attorney. And as the closing attorney, I send to Brian an email.
Right.
It says, Brian, as you know, this is all legitimate. Brian, as you know, we got the packet back that we sent your out-of-state seller to sign. Buyer's coming in this afternoon. Once the buyer signs, I'm ready to fund and record, and all I'm missing are your client's wiring instructions. So, wiring instructions for the seller. Would you mind contacting your seller and getting the wiring instructions?
Okay.
Brian contacts his seller, gets the wiring instructions, sends him the attorney. All of that is completely legitimate. But the attorney gets an email in that looks like it's coming from Brian, and it says, attached to the wiring instructions you requested. And his email, his Gmail account, got hacked, and the attachment's been changed, and the accounting and routing number are different. And I know in the one instance here in North Carolina, when that happened, hey, the attorney lost the seller's money without verifying the account.
Right.
Attorney going to write a check and turn it into their E&O carrier, or be splitting it with the broker, or the E&O carriers are sometimes now pursuing the broker.
Right.
When we track it back in the investigation, we find out the broker's account has been hacked.
So when they're hacking this, and to give you guys an idea of how easy it is, and we see it all the time, if your email address has an L or an E in it, especially if it's a lowercase l or a capital E, what they will do is they will take the L in your email address and spoof it by merely replacing the L with the number 1. And then they'll take that capital E and spoof it with the number 3. And the reason they do this is you have to understand a bit about patterns in the mind, because the mind still is able to read those if you print it that way.
You never
because
see it.
We never even notice it sometimes. And a lot of times those are some of the tests that we see given to us for mindset software and things like that, and analysis. So that's an important thing to remember, that if you've got a lowercase l or a capital E in your name, on your email address especially, but it's hackable, so be aware of that. So give us the other example that you gave me with the wiring instructions, where the guy calls into the administrative assistant.
So Brian goes into closing. Well, actually, I'm going to have a seller go into closing.
Right.
Seller goes into closing, he goes in at 10 a.m. in the morning, and he signs everything, and he leaves the law office. And at 1 o'clock, I need you to play the role of the law office administrative assistant.
Okay.
All right?
I'm the receptionist at the
now going to be the scammer.
Okay.
Hello, who am I talking to?
This is Brian.
Hi, Brian. You may remember me. My name is Mr. Elder. I was in this morning and signed a bunch of closing documents.
Yes, sir. I remember you.
And when we were in, we met with Attorney Anderson.
Right.
And he told us there were a lot of scams right now going on with people's money and wires, but you probably know all about that.
We do.
So we got to thinking it would be best if, rather than I put the money in the account, that I told Attorney Anderson I want to put it in a more secure account. So do you handle the wires?
I do.
Let me give you the account and routing number that I'd rather have it sent to. Thank you very much.
All right, terrific. I'll take care of it.
And yes, we did. We wired the money to the wrong account. Next call the attorney's office gets is from the seller going, where's my funds? Attorney writes a check, turns in the E&O carrier. E&O carrier is pursuing the broker. And the reason the E&O carrier is pursuing the broker is we know through the investigation exactly which email got hacked. Are you ready?
Which email was it?
An email from a Gmail account from the listing agent to the seller. And all it said was, Dear Mr. Seller, this is to confirm that your closing appointment is set for 10 a.m. with Attorney Anderson at the following law office at the following address. As a hacker, that's all I need. I've got the name of your seller.
Right.
I know when they're signing. I can use the name of the attorney. I know which attorney's doing it. I've got the law office. I can look them up. I'll just wait until a few hours after that closing, calling and impersonating the seller and changing the wire instructions. So folks, we are not dealing with amateur people out there.
Right.
You know, same old song and dance when it comes to this kind of criminal activity. While we're out trying to earn legitimate dollars, these people are staying up 20 hours a week trying to figure out how to get their hands on it.
What we're basically saying, folks, is the bad guys are ahead of the good guys at the moment.
Very much.
It's tough to keep up with all of the new situations
Very sophisticated.
that they're able to bring on. So, and of course, we have to explain, we're a long way from the early days of email where it was Bill Gates will pay $1,000 for every forward from this email.
Or the Nigerian prince has $10 million he wants to put in my account.
Right, exactly. Just send me your account number and I'll wire it directly.
You know, we never really understood that scam either. We all looked at that when we got those emails in and we thought, who could be so stupid as to fall for that?
Right.
And so when we got ticked off about it, so we shot them back an email going, do you think I'm stupid? You know, who do you think you are? Quit trying to scam people.
And just from that response,
it was it was actually a phishing virus, PH, right? Phishing, PHISHING, where there's code embedded, and all they needed me to do, it was never about the original scam. It was about ticking you off, trying to get you to respond in any way, because however you responded, you then opened up or compromised your computer.
Exactly. So I hope you've enjoyed this afternoon. Like I said, we wanted to get this on video and help get some information out to you guys to hopefully improve your systems. Now, I've seen quite a few comments popping up as we've been doing this. Understand we're broadcasting from my phone, and us old guys can't see that far away from us. So if you have a question, please put it in the comments. And Len is tagged on here, and I'm tagged on here. So we'll try to answer your comments in a reply to your individual comment. But like we said, we're always out there. Len and I both try to come from contribution as often as we can and help for our friends and our fellow realtors and our potential clients out there to make sure that they know that not losing money. We want to protect your equity.
And those of you that are licensees, don't forget, clock is a ticking away. June 10th is the last day you can take classes. I would tell already on the Spear website. We are selling out classes. So if you haven't signed up for your courses yet, you need to go do that just to save a seat. We don't have to turn you away on the day when you show up because you didn't make a reservation. So get your classes scheduled. June 10th is the deadline. And for those of you that have taken your classes, don't forget yesterday was
the first day to renew your license.
May 15th. So even though you took your classes, every licensee has to go to the Commission's website between May 15th, June 30th. That portal's open. If you haven't done it, just do it now. It'll take you a few minutes. You won't forget about it. You won't have to worry about it.
And that's, of course, for all of our North Carolina friends. As we've talked about, and for those of you that have taken classes with us, you know we talk about the fiscal year of the state of North Carolina being July 1 through June 30. We talk about the CE year being July 1 through June 10th. Remember, don't log on to a class at 6 p.m. on the 10th and expect to be finished because the websites are slow at that point. And whatever you do, don't take a break and get your certificate of completion printed out at 12:10 a.m. on the 11th. That will, of course, cost you. So for those of you that are tuning in from all across the country, I know we've got a lot of folks watching from places other than North Carolina. We thank you for tuning in. As always, if you're looking to book a speaker, if you've got a keynote address you need or a class in any particular discipline, Len and I would be happy to help you out and come out and visit you. So just give us a call, or you can hit us up here on Facebook. And of course, I can't leave without saying it. If you're thinking about buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate anywhere in the state of North Carolina, please give me a call at 919-669-4575 or hit us on the web at www.paterealty.com. Don't forget, if you want to sign up for a class, SuperiorSchoolNC.com. We have we have butts in seats classes.
Yes, we do.
Where you can attend a live course, or for elective courses, of course, we do have elective courses, of course. A course is a course, of course. For elective courses, you can sign up and take those online. And also, one more thing, don't forget, for all of you that are realtors, remember that December 31st is your deadline for your once every 2 years ethics course. And we will be offering a bunch of those. Drama the Code, great class.
Fun class.
As Bill Gallagher would say, y'all sit back and relax, take a sip of something, talk up, talk out, and all that good stuff.
Hey, Pay Really.
Yeah.
Thanks for sponsoring these few minutes on Facebook
Absolutely.
Live.
I've had a ball, man. And thanks for being here. And thank you for attending too. It's hump day. Guess what? Len, guess what day it is?
I'm going to text your daughter and go, please tell me another thing that should be celebrated.
Let's
today.
see. Do we need a dad joke? I can do a dad joke.
All
right, we'll do a dad joke. This will be your dad joke to close. You ready?
All right, I'm ready.
Chewbacca got arrested by the FBI.
I so apologize to all of you for this.
Chewbacca got arrested by the FBI for starting which website? WikiLeaks. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Tip your bartenders and your waitresses. Have a good one.
Have a great week, folks.